Hey, what's going on, you guys? This is Madam, and I'm coming back to you once again. This time, we're going to go over to the U.S. Sun, and the article writer is David Scott. It says cops who investigated Hulk Hogan's death released statement after daughter Brooke claims it was suspicious. Police have found no foul play in Hogan's death despite his daughter Brooke's suspicion. Despite this, Brooke still doesn't think everything adds up. Mm-mm. Brooke revealed her concerns on Bubba the Love Sponge's radio show. She said she was by Hulk Hogan's side for multiple surgeries and always looked over his blood work. When he got leukemia, it was a shock to her. Brooke said there is no history of cancer in her family, and though it should have been caught earlier. To Brooke, the story doesn't add up. However, cops say there is no reason to believe any foul play was involved in Hogan's death. As previously stated, there are no signs of foul play or anything suspicious about the death, Clearwater police told TMZ. Hogan died of cardiac arrest on July 24th at age 71 years old. He was buried in a private ceremony on Tuesday. Brooke was not present at the funeral, saying Hogan wouldn't have wanted her there. My father hated the morbidity of funerals, she wrote. He didn't want one, and although I know people grieved in many ways, and I'm so grateful for all celebrations and events organized to honor him, as his daughter, I had to make my own decision to honor him the best and most genuine way I knew how privately. The way that made me feel the closest to him. Looked at her family,
Even young adults
she
can be
said,
addicted to video games, and they're rarely warned.
She said the only
Ages
person
18 to
missing
22,
was Hogan
especially those
watching
with
Wade
ADHD or
and
anxiety,
Lynch.
are still highly vulnerable.
That is the end of the article. Apparently, he thought that
from video games is expected to reach $100 billion
it was
this year.
suspicious, but it has been ruled, I'm assuming per TMZ, that there was no foul play involved. But I'm going to do multiple stories in here, so yeah. Um, yeah. She felt she knew the best way to honor him, so that's exactly what she did. Let me know what you guys think, and drop down in the comment section and tell me. But I'm going to move on to the next story. On to the second story. This is from Artenet, and this is in politics. It says, "Nobody believes you. Library of Congress blames missing Constitution sections on coding error." I will list the article writer and all of the details in the description, as always. So let's get into it, right? Internet critics are not accepting the U.S. government's reason for removing Section 9 and Section 10 from the Constitution. Annotated website. Achieved searches earlier on Wednesday suggested the White House had scrubbed Section 9 and Section 10 pertaining to habeas corpus and judicial review of unlawful detention from the official congressional website on the Constitution. The page for Section 10 on July 15th contained individual notes and entries on that section, including causes. But on August 6th, a user visiting the same address could get only a portrait of George Washington and a page not found message, along with a link back to the home page. The same went for the dedicated page for Section 9. Searches indicate that the government site was modified on July 17th. Missing text pertaining to habeas corpus includes the privilege of the writ of habeas corpus shall not be suspended unless when it is in cases of rebellion or invasion the public safety may require it, and other information. The site's constitutional summaries of Section 9 and Section 10 on August 6 were also missing and did not match the more thorough Achieve shots of the same page from May. The Library of Congress responded on X later on Wednesday, blaming the deleted files on a software issue. It has been brought to our attention that some sections of Article 1 are missing from the constitutional annotated website. Website. We've learned that this is due to a coding error. We have been working to correct this and expect it to be resolved soon, the account posted. But critics did not easily accept the answer. What code could have been changed to remove this specific section only of your website? Demanded one commenter responding to the post. Nobody believes you. Show the updated history, posted another. White House officials have sparred with legislators over the question of habeas corpus as embodied in the missing text. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem claimed during a committee hearing that habeas corpus is a constitutional right, that the president has to be able to remove people from this country and suspend their rights. That's incorrect, corrected Senator Maggie Hansen, a Democrat, an attorney who then explained to Noem that it is actually a legal principle that requires that the government provide a public reason for detaining and imprisoning people. Hansen further informed Noem that the Constitution provision is the fundamental right that separates free societies like America from police states like North Korea. The White House responded to the alternate's emails later Wednesday, calling inquiries a question for Congress, given it is a congressional website. But critics appear certain that the White House had a role to play. We know it wasn't coding error, argued one commenter on X. Someone probably did this in front of Trump to make him feel like he can change the Constitution. Mm-mm. And that is the end of that article right there. Let me just speak briefly on it, and I'm gonna just give my honest opinion about it. Yeah, I agree with the
Tired of
last
sore,
commenter
slipping disc.
in terms of them changing the code. This has been something that has been brought up. One thing that you can bet on about this administration is that they will literally tell you what they're going to do or what they're planning on doing before it actually gets done. Not considering the fact that people have copies of constitutions in their homes. People have the literal hundreds of thousands of books that's been written on Constitution. Not to mention law textbooks and law books in general that pretty much lays out the guidelines for the Constitution in every piece of the legislation. So, for them to do this is no surprise for me. Trump is definitely trying to be a king, in my opinion. His administration is a group of unqualified individuals who got their positions based on a loyalty system. If he can trust them, not people that are qualified to actually run the positions, but more so if they're qualified to do whatever Trump commands them to do. And again, like I said, you can not like it or not. That's cool with me, but that is my personal opinion. And for them to do that, that's just basically signaling since the start of his administration that he wants to take over. He wants to be king. He doesn't want any other president. That's why presidents to become president. He wants to gerrymander in Texas. And shout out to the people, the Congress people, the Dems in Texas that fled. And it is, and another thing about that, I don't believe that they fled. They're actually standing on business. They're actually protecting the Constitution and our electoral rights by actually doing that, in my opinion. Because if they just sit there and allow them to gain 5 more seats, it will be dramatically disproportionate to not only the voters in Texas, but it will set a precedent for every other state going forward. And I hope they get all the support that they need. I hope that if their families will be taken care of, and the things that they left behind will be taken care of in their absence, and that they will be blessed tremendously for the sacrifices that they are taking. Also to the governor of Illinois and New York, that have stepped in to help them actually stand on business. And kudos to them for New York and Illinois for standing on business with them, because like Pritzker said, it not only affects the people in Texas, it affects everybody that's in this country. And it definitely will give people the excuse to gerrymander their districts that will disproportionately hurt minorities, black people, brown people, Native American people, people in color of general. It will disproportionately hurt them, and it will bring about a president. He's trying to rewind the clock so bad, and these people are not aware of what they're doing. One of my main statements that I've made for the past couple of weeks to people, just having dialogue with them online, is that some people are so hell bent on, uh, you know, giving up their rights and their freedoms if it will help, you know, if it will hurt the people that's already disproportionately affected. They are willing to give up their rights, their freedoms, their sovereignty, anything that they hold dear to their hearts, eh, just so other people will suffer. And that's why I say you vote against your own people when you do that. It just shows the character and the mindset of these people. They don't really care. They care more about um protecting their social status, and that's basically what it boils down to, their social status rather than their actual rights and freedoms. But I don't know, you guys. Let me know. Drop down in the comment section. What did you think about the Hogan story? About Brooke thinking it was suspicious? And what do you think about, them literally trying to erase the Constitution, even though they would have to go much further than the actual website? But they can't because they don't have the power to do so, thankfully. But again, that's never stopped Trump and this administration from steamrolling over the Constitution, rights of others, and the many things that were put into place to help everyone. And I do mean everyone. But hey, let me know. Drop down in the comment section. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share as well. And I am appreciative of you watching this video. So, with that, I will get with you guys in the next one.